It's a super competitive league with a bunch of testosterone raging men. Of course, there's bound to be a lot of D's moments that are just downright disrespectful.
DK is getting in the head of Marshawn Lattimore.
Yes, he did. He gives it to Henry. Henry trying to get to the outside.
From DK Metcalf learning sign language to trash talk rivals to Antonio Brown's mysterious antics involving Tom Brady's wife and Juju Smith-Schuster's controversial logo dances, let's talk about the most disrespectful moments in the NFL that left fans and players alike in shock. Having a personality in the NFL is expensive, and there are few players that have paid more for that than DK Metcalf. This dude has paid the equivalent of a down payment on a house in fines over the course of his relatively short career, but that's never stopped him from mouthing off or pushing opponents. He took his on-field trolling up a notch when he learned a whole new language to be able to mouth off without the ref knowing. And after scoring a touchdown off the shoulder of a particularly slow number 44, the first thing he did was to disrespectfully sign, "44 is my son."
Smith to the air, Metcalf, yes it is, a touchdown!
In a separate game with the 49ers, his temper got the best of him and he was ejected from the game. But he was paid back in his own coin by Tabor Pepper, who knew sign language as well. Do you like this content? Make sure to touch down the subscribe button for more. In another case of karma gets you back, let's take a look at Juju, who used to suffer from a bad case of a grown-ass man on TikTok. During pre-game warm-ups, he'd do a little dancey dance on the logos of the opposing team, clearly showing them he didn't think much of them. This went on until the boys from Cincinnati decided to feed him to the meat grinder. Von Bell felt so disrespected at Juju's antics, and during the game, Von didn't waste any time in folding Juju like an omelet.
Roethlisberger, Juju Smith-Schuster is blown up, and the whistle's blown.
And watch him just come downhill. Boom! It's perfect. He does it perfectly. He knows it's coming to him. He knows Juju likes to run.
Oh my God!
Those shallow crossers, perfect. Perfect execution.
I personally haven't seen Juju perform his ballet dances on logos since then. Patrick Mahomes managed to beef with an entire city, but to be fair, the mayor of the city came for him first in the run-up to the AFC Championships.
Whereas Joseph Lee Burrow, who's 3-0 against Mahomes, has been asked by officials to take a paternity test confirming whether or not he's his father.
Nothing wrong with public officials getting into the team's spirit, but it kinda makes one look like a fool when the match later ends up a loss for them. Mahomes broke through his 3-zip losing streak against the Bengals and won his first match. Travis Kelce has something to say back to the mayor as well about this.
Beautiful trophy, huh? Hey, I got some wise words for that Cincinnati mayor. Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
After they'd won that match and gotten into the Super Bowl, the team soon got into another contest of egos with Ja'Marr Chase. Before the match, Joe Burrow was asked who the best quarterback in the league was, and he answered as diplomatically as he could.
What you want to be? Who do you think is the best in the world now?
I don't think there's any argument right now. It's Pat. Until somebody has a better year than he's had, he's the one to knock off.
Meanwhile, his teammate Ja'Marr Chase was also asked. He grabbed the bull by the horns and proclaimed his teammate king.
Asked about the number one player in the NFL, with very little hesitation, you said
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Everybody knows that, yeah. That's easy. MVP.
He said Pat.
Who said Pat?
Joe.
Pat who?
And of course, the Kansas City boys didn't take this lightly. The Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl and Patrick Mahomes ended up posting a slam dunk on Ja'Marr's head. Wisely, Ja'Marr didn't throw any more criticisms their way. Still speaking on disrespectful beef, let's address the elephant in the room. The madness between Tom Brady and Antonio Brown. Just recently, Brady was welcomed into the world of sports analysis after signing a very heavy contract. The reveal was quite lackluster, and Antonio didn't miss a chance to throw a jab at Brady through X. This isn't the first time Antonio's taken pot shots at Brady. The beef all started when Antonio gave an interview in which he talked extensively about his relationship with Brady. Brady took to his phone and sent a long message to Antonio, who didn't even give him the courtesy of privacy. Antonio leaked the messages, adding fuel to the fire, and things got even more dicey when Tom and his ex-wife announced they were divorcing. That's when Antonio went deep. He began to post pictures and memes that mocked Brady at the expense of his ex-wife and children. Antonio posted images that insinuated that he'd been messing around with Giselle even when she and Tom were still together. To his credit, Brady didn't even give him any more attention or breathe life into the rumors, but the damage had already been done. We're ending with an all-time disrespectful move. Terrell Owens, T.O., the big dude who couldn't give a rat's ass about anybody else when he was celebrating. He danced with the cheerleaders, bathed himself in popcorn, and T.O. had the moves. He'd mime and move his body like jelly if it meant he'd get some of the excess energy off. The dude always had something up his sleeve. Literally. His most savage celebration came during a battle with the Seattle Seahawks when he blew past Seahawks cornerback Sean Springs for a 37-yard touchdown pass that put the 49ers in the lead. Without losing his momentum, he quickly pulled out a Sharpie from his sock and signed his autograph on the touchdown ball before flinging it over to Greg Eastman, who handled finance for both Terrell and Sean and was sitting in Sean's luxury box. Unsurprisingly, the Seahawks did not take so kindly to this, and Terrell was forced to defend himself from the negative press, reminding everyone that there were NFL players getting drunk and doing drugs and that a Sharpie wasn't that important in the grand scheme of things. There's still a lot of disrespectful moments that we haven't touched on, but we'll be stopping here today. Let us know in the comments what moments you want to see us cover, and don't forget to touch down that subscribe button.